Alright, welcome back to another video. Today I'll be going over the Christmas Part 1 units. Unfortunately, everybody except Dio. I wanted to get him for the first video, but I didn't get lucky, so I'm still working on getting him. He should be the next video that gets posted after this one. This video starts off with me doing rerolls on some of the units that I obtained for this video. And I want to keep this intro super brief because I know content's not been... I haven't been good about uploads and streams and all that. I'm working on it, I promise. I'm planning on streaming on New Year's. It'll probably start later in the evening for me. That is, unless my friends decide they want to have plans and we do stuff that day. I don't know. But yeah. Let's just get straight into the video. I hope you guys enjoy it. So... let's just go right to left. I got a lot of rerolls. I'm just taking the first mythic it gives me for now, because I don't want to risk getting Crusader on one of these guys when I really want it on Dio. Luckily, once I obtain him, I'll get an extra 100 tokens to use for rolls, so... that's actually solid on him. I think Radiant is probably best. I think same goes for Kuzan here, since they are both 4 placements. Going strictly off of passives, I think Kuzan is probably the best of these 4. Esdeath is pretty interesting as well, though, I can't lie. That's amazing. If I was going to get Crusader on any of these, I would want it to be Toshiro. So that's why I wanted to do him last, because I don't know where I'm at for my pity. Because I believe there's Crusader pity, it just isn't displayed anywhere. Come on. It is really funny how I have more Crusaders than Radiants. I said I'd just take the first mythic, and Aurora is pretty solid. It's... how much damage is Aurora? 10%. I think... I have to wonder if Biohazard actually best on Toshiro. That'll make more sense once we're in a thing. Let's show cosmetics real quick. We got Toshiro's, which is the wings. We got Esdeath's, which I believe is the sword and the hat. You can kind of see it there. Would look better on a different model. I still don't think it's very good. I don't know why they don't include the actual outfit. Is his just a pose? Oh, let me see if there's... ignore my goofy ass under there. Yeah, it's just a pose. Kinda crappy. What about you? Also just a pose. That is very lame all around. I'll use Toshiro's at the very least to use one of them, because his is... oh, and his comes with a different movement. That's pretty cool. Alright, we're gonna load in, I'm gonna get some money, and we'll just go same way I did the traits, right to left. Except with Esdeath being last, because I think she'll be the most interesting to show off. Okay. So we're starting with Kurim. His basic attack is this little ice spike. I'm gonna have to upgrade him a little bit, so let's get through his attacks and then I'll read his passives. We have Ice Stomp. He is hybrid on placement. Makes him like Angel. And honestly, considering his passives, they are kind of similar. They're more about supportive passives than damage passives. So, see, I don't know why that's not a cone. I have a similar complaint about his final ability, which is Ice Age. Which, if we look at the animation, is that. But it, did they actually give the wrong attacks to him? Like, I feel like these should be Kuzan's. I mean, I understand that all their abilities are ice, but that is literally a full AoE thing he's doing. So yeah, capping out at around 60k damage with Aurora. The high range on him is good because his passive is Absolute Counter, where he deals 30% plus 30% damage to enemies with Fire Element, which I think means enemies that are weak to fire, he does more damage to. so he does like even more to them, and every 15 Fire Emblem enemies defeated causes him to deal plus 40% damage and ignore fire resistance, which I don't know if that's any useful. Frozen Mark. Enemies hit by Kareem are inflicted with Frozen Mark for 5 seconds. Enemies afflicted by Frozen Mark take plus 20% increased damage from units with Ice Element. Truthfully, I think he is the worst of the units. These passives are just not that good. But being hybrid on placement is some value, but I would just run Angel, in truth. Again, you can have 4 of them, but it's not very good. So then we have Kuzan, or Aokiji, whichever you want to call him. We can see something going on with him. So Absolute Zero. Attacks apply freeze to enemies for 2.5 seconds. I will say right now, he is the only one of these units to apply freeze. I think the only other mythic unit besides him that applies freeze must be Gray from that little mini update they did, but I have not gotten him. I've gotten Haku 3 times. I'll probably, if I can get Gray, I will work on evolving Haku and Gray, and then I'll show them off with Dio as well. I might just try evolving Haku at this point. But yeah, Absolute Zero attacks by freeze for 2.5 seconds. Enemies who are affected by freeze enter a fragile state and take plus 15% damage from the next hit, which that's super strong. Lazy Justice. At the start of each wave, he enters Lazy Mode. While in Lazy Mode, minus 30% damage plus 10% cooldown. After attacking once, he warms up and exits Lazy Mode, and upon exiting Lazy Mode, he gains plus 60% damage and minus 20% cooldown. Super strong, because he's only nerfed for 1 attack. I've seen his basic attack a few times. It's kind of like a Whirlwind of Ice. We then have Ice Trident, with much larger AoE. It is multi-hit. I believe he had that on pre-evo. This is the new one, the Ice Age. Okay. I'm gonna attack one more time. The freeze is just so strong. So he's full AoE, yeah. That hurts my eyeballs. I did expect him to be full AoE. Damn, that is more damage than I thought he would have. But I guess that's just from his passives, huh? 12k DPS, 4 placement, full AoE. He is also hybrid. Yeah, I was right. He's the best of these 4 units. Like, well, okay, hold on. Toshiro is an interesting one, I will say. But yeah, Aokiji's extremely good. Especially considering I think both Haku and Esdeath have a passive that make them do more damage to frozen enemies. The fact that Aokiji actually does freeze makes him super useful. We'll sell him. Then we have Toshiro. I have some problems with Toshiro. I think he's cool. Okay. Iceborne Authority. If Toshiro is the strongest unit in his range, gains 25% damage and 10% range. That is a super, like, cool, neat passive. I wish the numbers were a little larger on that, because if you put him in range of pretty much any, like, Crusader or Secret unit, he's just not going to be the strongest. Hold on. Do your attack again. Couple of ice balls, it looks like. Then we have Dual Slash, which is... well, it's exactly what it said it was. And then Frozen Remnants. Whenever Toshiro attacks, he leaves behind a water bubble in the area that deals 40% of his damage over 5 seconds. Maximum of 3 bubbles can exist at the same time. It's pretty strong, all things considered. It's effectively an AoE or a DOT, except it just hits anyone who enters the range of his AoE circle. And then we have a Triple Slash, which is a little more flashy than his other one. You're capping out close to 100,000 damage, 17,000 DPS. Pretty strong. Obviously, if you have, I think if I had Esdeath placed down and max upgraded, she would make his increased range and damage passive go away, because she does do more damage than him. But very strong. He is a Crusader candidate just because of this first passive, as well as the fact that multiple copies of him can't, like, this one prevents this Toshiro from activating the passive. So they can't all three of them have it active, even if Toshiro is the only other unit in range. I don't know. It's weird also the fact that he is not hybrid. He is ground only. I get that, like, I guess they had to make, like, they can't make every unit hybrid, but for the character that canonically has wings, canonically flies, to not be hybrid is weird. They also didn't give us a hill unit this update. We got him who's hybrid, this guy who becomes hybrid, and then 2 ground units, and then Dio, who is also hybrid on placement. It's just a little odd. No, I think Toshiro is very strong. I think he potentially can have one of the highest DPSs in the game. He might easily be a candidate for Biohazard, depending on if the ticks of Frozen Remnants can trigger Biohazard activating. But I wouldn't be the one to find that out or know the game well enough to be able to tell. Then we have Esdeath. So I think this unit is really cool, but I also do think it needs buffed. Okay, so as I said, Esdeath has received a lot of major buffs since I recorded that video. This video is taking me too long to edit. I didn't even start on it until 3 days after it was recorded, and I'm sorry about that. I do want to say that these, like, winter months are a bit hard on me. So my already bad work ethic gets a lot worse in these months. So I'll probably pull up a picture of what her passives used to be. But right at post buff, they are every 10 takedowns that spawns a defeated enemy with health equal to 100% of this unit's damage. And after a summon dies, it buffs all units in range for 50% damage and 20% range for 10 seconds with a 10-second cooldown. Enemies who are affected by freeze or time stop take 50% more damage from Esdeath. That is a massive buff to this passive. It used to be like every 10 takedowns, it was someone with 50% of the unit's damage, and it was after the summon dies, it was like you got 15% damage and 10% range or something like that. Huge buff. Then you have Absolute Supremacy. No units with Ice Element in range gains 8% per wave. 1 to 3 units with Ice Element in range gains 16% per wave, and 3+ units with Ice Element in range gains plus 32% affection stacks per wave. I'm gonna have to upgrade her. For attack animation, no. Giant Ice Spike. We'll put Lelouch down. This is my team for the portals, by the way, in case you're wondering what the hell this team is. Then, when the affection meter reaches 100%, gains plus 20% damage, minus 20% cooldown, plus 25% crit chance. I believe both of the stats here were doubled. I think the crit chance isn't changed. I still think the crit chance is pointless, to be honest. But it's pretty cool that, like, she gets it anyway. We have Ice Spikes, which is a little projectile she throws from above. We'll put Kuzan in range so she stacks this a little faster. Originally, this was basically her second passive, basically not obtainable in 15 wave game modes, because you had to have, I think, at least 3 Ice Element units in range for her to start stacking more than 5%. So that buff was very good. Then Ice Meteor, which I believe is single hit, which it's why I think the crit chance is dumb. I think her damage, she received a damage buff, and then I think it's been nerfed since then. Or it's been brought back down. Let me check the patch notes just to make sure I'm not talking nonsense. Okay, so update logs. On the 24th, they buffed her damage. So I never actually played with her when before the damage buff. Then on the 26th, the day after I originally recorded the video, they reworked and buffed Esdeath's passives. She should be much better now, is what they said. I actually think you don't want Crusader on her because of that. I think you actually get more value out of just having 3 Esdeaths with, like, I think Radiant is the one that gives the most damage out of all the basic ones. Yeah. Because I think you'd be pushing total higher damage than Crusader, allowing for your summons to do way more damage. So yeah, that's all for Esdeath. This is I think it's gonna cut back out to a yap session from me for a little bit. So this is all the units. Don't care about my bit of yapping and just kind of talking about stuff to anime tower defenses. You know, you can dip. That's fine. I don't expect people to watch the whole videos. Y'all are here for the units. I just like leaving in the little yap sessions because they're fun. And Kuzan, as much as I praised him, there is one flaw. He was released alongside Dio. And the thing about freeze is that freeze cannot be applied if there's a time stop cooldown on an enemy. And I believe that works vice versa. The time stop cannot be applied if there is a freeze cooldown on an enemy. So Kuzan would get in the way of Dio's time stop, which I don't know how long it is. I don't know how it works. I don't have him. I'm not even close to that, to be honest, but... So... Kuzan getting in the way of that kind of sucks. It is so funny to me that all these games do Dio over Heaven for winter. Because it's like... Because Anime Adventures, I think, was the one who started that. Or at least that's, I think, where everybody knows it from. And so, it's like, it's funny to see all these games now still following that trend. Because this game is doing a Dio over Heaven. I think Anime Auto Chess showed off a picture with Dio over Heaven for their winter update. It's just very... It's very interesting to see the impact Anime Adventures has had on these anime tower defense games over the years, to the point where there is a trend they created that has not changed. It's super neat. I hope Anime Adventures gets to come back and actually thrive, because I would play it so much, man. I debate in playing it sometimes, like even in its current state, because when I have gone back and played it the way it currently is, it's fun, man. It still is. It holds up, and I don't know how. I don't know if that's like nostalgia baiting me really hard, or if if it actually is fun. Hold on, let's see if I can get gray real quick. Probably not. Nope. Oh, let me claim here. So yeah, I mean, that's about everything for this video. Oh, you know, I don't think I've shown the Esdeath cutscene in this recording. I want to do that just to have it so I don't have to cut it in. So let me not forget this. I've not got my OBS set up where it just automatically grabs the audio track. Having to go over and set it manually was annoying. Pretty solid cutscene. But yeah, I would say, obviously, I would evolve them for the quest. It gives like 150 divine tokens. Wouldn't roll on Kareem. I really don't think he's good. Kuzan, I think Kuzan is subjective. Like, I do think he is really strong, but with Dio coming out soon, he's out. With Dio existing, who's going to take up your time spot, it might not be worth it. I don't know. At the same time, they're different damage types. So Kuzan, like if you're planning on doing like tournaments and stuff, I'd get Kuzan. Toshiro, I'd have to know more about how he interacts with traits, right? He does have a pretty high DPS, like at base. I think with Crusader, I think he definitely competes with some of the higher DPS units, but also that's really all he does. He very well may be a unit you want with Biohazard, if we assume that every tick of this that happens over 5 seconds would proc the Biohazard DOT. I love that this is the only unit, Nagamo is the only unit I've ever rolled Biohazard on, and fun fact, I am going to stat transfer him onto Dio when I get him, because Nagamo's kind of terrible, and like, I think he's cool, but he is bad. Yeah, I think he was bad when he came out. Like, he's just not a good unit, unfortunately. Man, maybe I'm wrong, but he's not a unit I will ever use. So hopefully I can get Dio soon to get that video up. But that is everything on this. I'll probably cut out a bunch of that yapping. I do that a lot on these because I just like to talk, man. It's fun to just like talk about these games and the stuff that's going on. I have been playing Universal Tower Defense. I do apologize for not having a video on like my startup on that. I was going to, I swear, and then I got like to level 50 before I remembered I was gonna do that. And I was like, well, I think it's kind of late for that now, so I've just been playing. Whenever their first update drops, I don't know if that's a Christmas update or what it is, but I will play that, and I'll probably go over some of like the beginning stuff that happened, and you know, all the stuff. I don't have Jinwoo, I don't have Ragna in that game, in case you're wondering. But I've had a lot of fun with it. I haven't played it in a couple of days because all I can really do right now is Virtual World or farm the legend stages, and it's just like, that gets kind of repetitive. I do worry about that with that game. Even though Virtual Dungeon is like super unique mode. Like they took the card systems and then made it really interesting. I think that game has a lot of potential, which is funny because a lot of people were crapping on that game in its trailer, because I did watch that. It was really funny, but it actually turned out to be really good. I'm still waiting for, I think it's Anime Rush to come out. Anyone who follows that. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, feel free to please leave a like and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it, and it would help support the channel. If comment whatever, you get your stuff, questions about this game, maybe another Anime Tower Defense you want to see me play, just, whatever. Leave it down in the comments below. I do check through those when the video goes live. And I will see you guys in the next one, which should hopefully be the Dio video. If it's not, it's very likely I've gotten very unlucky and I'm having to go to pity again. Obviously, I've not done a ton of summons yet. I haven't had time, because I mean, I'm recording this on Christmas, which I told myself I wasn't going to record, but I've been pretty free all day, so I thought I would get something done. Peace out.